Hey guys, it's the Redstone Wizard here again, bringing you another Redstone tutorial. This time, we have what's classified as a category sorter. So, let's take a look at this thing real fast. We've got a chest here, and if we put some items in, like, let's put our favorite, redstone dust. I'm just going to throw a stack in. And we turn it on. As it goes through, it goes into a double speed hopper unloader. And then that goes into a, well, we already launched, a hopper minecart, which then goes through the chests, seeing which ones are there, pulling out every single thing. Then it comes back to collect the rest of the items. And we still got quite a bit going through. And that was from the showcase. But yeah, this thing does not actually loot. This thing will not leave any items alone. Keeps going through the system until that chest is completely empty. We've got a bunch of different systems here just to make it work. And that was weird. So let's just force reset that. And as it goes around, it's going to hold the items until a certain point. And there we go. It's just going to keep going and going and going until we have that chest completely empty. And as they go, they will filter in, and as you can see where it's coming in at. See? Now, these item frames with the crossover, they're not being used right now. But I do have them set for every little thing. This is a category sorter, so let's take a look at the system real fast. Going through the redstone. We are now, this is your filter. This literally tells you everything that will get sorted into that set of chests. And in these, there's nothing that can be pulled. With a spare double chest here of extra filler items. I do recommend having that right there, though. So, all I have to say is, let me get changed into my work clothes, and let's get to building this thing. Okay, guys, I'm back, and as you can tell, we're actually on Bedrock Edition. So, yeah, what we're doing here with the system is actually utilizing signal strength. Now, this design was originally made by from Cass from the Mazuma games. The link will be in this description. I've actually modified it so that it works on Bedrock. So let's take a look at what I'm talking about with signal strength. So we have signal strength 3 here. Everything in the chest is set up to be for the filters. So if I pull one item out, it goes away. If I put that item right back in, it turns back on. Now, the only thing that this system can't sort out is non-stackables. So, but these partial stackables, the ones that will stack up to 16 when you put them in, you have to do it a very specific way. Now, I do recommend setting this up while you are working on setting up your categories, because you can literally place whatever you want in here. So take one item out, and then throw it in, and then get in a position where you can open it up and still see that lamp. Now, I know it's going to take 3 items, So if I take one, it'll fill. It'll turn. Take out three, we'll turn it on. So bam, bam. You always, and I do recommend doing this layout with the 63 here. And you need, actually, you need 47 and a stack of random blocks. I do recommend renaming them, and they have to be a full stack of blocks. So these are all iron blocks. But then you need 6 non-stackable blocks to work. So if we put this back here and throw this right back up in here, clear my inventory, and this is the layout I recommend. We do need a double chest, comparator, and dust. So right now we're just going to, I always recommend starting out with the filtration system before we do the load unload system, because, well, filtration system you set up and you don't worry about it. So in here we need, this is everything to build a single slice of the filtration system. And you, like I said, it's tileable, so what you do to one end, you do to the next, to the next, to the next, with a few differences. So what we need is a bunch of blocks to build with, 4 redstone dust, 2 droppers, 5 hoppers, 4 redstone comparators, a random block, 2 chests, 1 powered rail. I do recommend using a barrel because of item filtration for additional item backup for additional storage. You need a detector rail or a powered rail for 1 part. Most of them will need the power rail, but you need a detector rail for 1 part. You need to be able to power all your powered rails, so I recommend a redstone block. And additional storage and that that set of filtration I mentioned. So let's take everything out. And I always recommend starting out with wherever your storage is going to be. So you pile up your chest as high as you want. I'm just going to do 2. Put your hoppers in, because then we are able to say this is going to be our storage. So build your chest and put the hoppers in first. Then you're going to place your barrels there, come back to the back side, and a hopper. Then we're going to place a hopper down, and then we're going to make our hopper line. Now all these get connected. Okay? They all get connected. You can cover this up however you see fit. So what we need to do is power that hopper right there to keep it from locking up. We're going to put a block out. You can use slabs for this part right here if you feel like it, if you don't feel like using a full block. We're going to place a comparator. We're going to place a dropper going up. We're going to put 2 blocks up, break this bottom one, put a dropper going down, and a block on the bottom. Then we're going to place a block down, put a comparator, a block up, and another block up. We're going to place dust here, powered rail here, because then we are going to have a powered rail lining all the way down. Now, I'm going to have to tell you guys this. You have to be careful where you put your system because of we have specific angled rails, but it's not as bad as another system I try to build. But yeah, that's beside the point. So what's going to happen is while we have these here, we're going to take on 1 part and make sure that you can do this and place a activator rail, a detector rail. The detector rails from this block out that way can do 15. From this block out that way can also do 15. So we're going to, so you can have a 29 long before you have to put another detector rail. And doing it every 29 blocks will actually say, hey, I've got enough. You can have it in a straight line if you want. You can have it angled. You can have it turning a corner, another corner. You can have a plus shape if you feel like it. Choices are up to you. So then we're going to power these. Like I said, I recommend using a redstone block, as you can see over there. And then we're going to take our chest. Now, this is the chest that has all the items in it. And then we take a normal chest. You set your double chest up. I recommend having the water bottles and your spare item down there. And then filling up the rest with your filtration items. If you don't need to use it yet, still have it full. And the only reason why I recommend doing it this way is so that you can have a quick access to how many, whatever you need. So like, let's say we want redstone blocks. Let me grab that block again, throw it in there. It can be anywhere in the system as long as it's there. So we got our filtration in the wrong spot. And the nice thing is you don't even have to do anything with it. You can leave it like this if you feel like, and it will still work. So you make your filtrate, so you place your chests all along there. And we're going to take another block, place it there with the comparator coming out. We'll take our one random item. You can place it in either hopper. So I just placed it in the bottom, which means the rail's going to pass here. It's going to shoot the item up into here, locking this hopper. Because that hopper is getting locked, no items will go down. Now, we'll take our rails again, put one in from the comparator going into the chest, then a comparator, then a hopper going into the hopper with a powered rail on top. Then we will place a block here and here. We're going to go down one, up, and up. Now, anybody who recognizes this is pretty good. It's pretty much a item filter. Difference is we're going to go from here, it's the standard item filter, and we are going to move it all up. And we're going to stack these like that because they do get tiled. And I do recommend having them tiled. So now, this hopper is locked. We can't throw any items in. And it's not going to do anything. So, how does it work? Well, while the hopper minecart is passing underneath, and that's what we're using for the sorter, passing underneath, it will pull one block out. And hence why I said I do recommend having that set up right there just to see your signal strength, because now if I throw that in there, now we got signal strength 3 again. I can't throw anything in there at all. It all just stays there. And this is now in the system. So yeah, we'll just leave that there. And then the item gets pushed down to the bottom by this comparator, and then this comparator pushes it back up. So let's put it right back up here. and locking that hopper so that no items can just pass right through. It's still in here. And if we move it down, and throw an item in, it goes to this bottom chest. There we go. So, now the next part is going to be the loading and the unloading of this system. We needed to build this system so we can have that system in the right place that we wanted it. So guys, when I get back, after getting everything set up, I will bring you guys right back. Okay guys, I'm back, and for the storage, load and unload, that's what we're going to work on right now. What you need is just a bunch of blocks to build with. You can even use the same ones from the from the sorter itself and the storage. About 13 power rails. I do recommend bringing a few more. A stack of rail. I do recommend just bringing a stack of rails. About 20 hoppers, 17 comparators, 6 droppers, 10 repeaters. Bring about a stack of dust, 6 torches. You definitely need a minimum of 4 slabs, an observer, a block that you can just put into the droppers that stacks up to 64. A stack plus 23 of an additional filler items, and 4 more non-stackable items in addition to another 5 non-stack for a total of 9 in this part, 4 double chests, and a hopper minecart. So let's take everything out, and we'll just start working. Oh, and I did forget another thing. We do need 1 detector rail for this entire part. It is important. So, what we do is from here, we are going to leave a 1 block gap, so nothing can go here. And starting here is where the loading and unloading will go. So, if we come over here and take a look, I've got pretty much nothing in this line right here from the hoppers this way. So, that's how it's going to be. So we will take and place another block here. I'm just going to remove that. And I'm going to put this up here so that I can get me a redstone block. I do recommend bringing in a few redstone blocks or, well, levers for controlling, powering unpowered rails. So what we need to do now is take, and we're going to temporarily place a block there. We are going to get our droppers. We're going to put 2 down. Put a hopper into the bottom one. We don't need that anymore. We're going to place a block next to the hopper, a block down, a block up. We're just going to replace that, a block up, replace that, and replace that, replace that, replace that, replace that, replace that, and a block up. We're leaving around the droppers, we are lining it with another set of blocks. In fact, we're just going to set up for the rest of what we need. Okay, we'll leave that like that. Okay, so starting from the hopper, you can put a powered rail on the hopper, and I do recommend that. Then we will get our comparators, our dust, and our repeaters for this part. Comparator coming out, Going to throw a dust here, because then when there's an item locked in there, it's going to power this dust, repeater, skip, skip, comparator, block, repeater, set on default. Comparator, dust, dust, comparator, and turn this one to subtract mode. Now, from here, this pretty much says this system is when an item gets in here, it's going to force this to shut off. That's how this system's going to work. So, but we're going to need our observers. Place one there, and a block on top which will power this dropper. Force to shut off, and due to this getting double pulsed, it's going to this part getting double pulsed, you'll go on and off. So now we got that set. So now we're going to need our droppers again and the hoppers. So we're going to place a dropper there and a hopper going into it. And I forgot we're going to need another random item. Doesn't matter what item you use, because now that's just going to control the circuit. Now here we need to get a signal strength of 14 getting pulled there. You could use a single chest, single shulker box filled to the brim with non-stackable items and -1. Or we could use, honestly, one of my favorite redstone components. And that would be, where are you? I know you're in here. Crops, no, 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 no. Not here. Not here. Here we are. Big goods. Cake. We'll throw cake. So now this is outputting a signal strength of 14, which is fine. We want that. We will go down to this point, and we'll, right around the cake, we're going to make a T. So from here, we need our normal rails, our detector rail, normal rail, normal rail, normal rail, powered rail, and we will place a normal rail here. Now, we don't want this. That won't work. So if you place them like, if you place these down first and then place it, I recommend, for safety purposes, make sure you just place a block of redstone if it goes over here. If it goes over here automatically, you do not need the block of redstone. You just need to make sure it goes that way. Then we'll get our detector rail, place it there, and we're going to place a block right in front of this comparator. Now what this does is, after this item, after the hopper marker starts getting filled, it's going to get shot off and go this way, underneath all of that. Now, here it's going to take a signal. If the signal is strong, is at least strong enough to force this to reduce power, it's going to do it. It needs to have full signal strength for that to happen. So it needs to be a 15 to overpower this. Which, if the hopper minecart is completely full, it will. So then it will take an item out, shoot it into there, put it into the bottom dropper, then the top dropper, and then it's going to end up coming back into the system. We're going to place a block there and a block up. Now we need a repeater right here. You can leave it on default or you can extend it. It doesn't matter. But we need a repeater there. Now, we don't need a block there, but we do need a block there. Get your chest. Get one of your chests, two of your four chests. We're taking half of it. And we're going to place a double chest right there. And we're going to set our hopper minecart down right here for loading. Then we're going to we're going to put 5 water bottles in there for the first time. Then from here we're going to go 2 more blocks. This one we're going to replace with a redstone block or a lever underneath to power it. And then we'll go from then we're going to place a block here, block down, another block down. We need our comparators. Put one on this block, put it on this, put it on 2 ticks, going into a block with a block up with some beautiful redstone dust, a torch going up with a block on its face, a block on the top with a torch on the side. We're going to place another block, and we're going to go 2 more, break that, place a comparator in the V, and place a torch right there. That's set. So now we need to be able to determine when something's happening. So we're going to have a hopper there. So right next to this comparator, you can put a temporary block, get another dropper, place it down, a hopper going into the dropper on the side, a hopper going to the hopper, and a hopper going into the hopper. We're going to place a piece of dust on top, and we'll just throw an item in there. Now what will happen is when this system starts activating, yeah, we don't need that block, and the item will be in here. When it activates, the dropper will shoot the item into here, and as long as items are in this chest, by the time that this is going through, it's going to be turned off. So it's going to push the item down, starting a clock up here before it gets launched off. So from here, we need a block down, and you go block up, block over, and another block, and throw one right there. We need a repeater, dust, and a torch on the side, and we need a comparator, and a comparator. Now we need to go underneath this thing, underneath here. We're going to put a block here. And in fact, I'm actually going to take that out. And I'm going to use a slab there. Even though it's not necessary to have a slab there, I rather have the slab there because it looks better to me. And that's the only reason why. So we'll place a piece of dust here, get here a 4-tick repeater, and a redstone torch. Get another set of droppers, going up, and we'll place that comparator right back. Now we are going to we're going to place a hopper going into the dropper and a hopper going into the hopper. Take your last take a full stack of items and throw them in there, and then your 4 water bottles, or your 4 non-stackables. I'm using water bottles. Then you'll take your other one and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 19. One item will go and get shot out. Hang on to that one item. We will need it. Then we will take another powered rail, put it here, get a block, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need this. Get your normal rails, and we will go 1, 2, 3, 4, up, break, and we'll leave that. Get your other two chests, and we'll go here and here. We need that going there, into there. We need that going into there. Then we're going to go 1, 2, 1, 2. We'll leave that like that for now. This will send certain things back in. So then we can actually take our special item that we saved and just throw it in there. And it will end up back in this chest right where we need it. There's a reason why we have 5 items in there. Then we're going to take a block, place it here, here. We're going to go out 2 and up 1. We need at least this. We're going to put a block on top of this and a block on top of this. We're going to go down, and then we're going to go over to right there. Then we'll get our powered rails. We're going to put a powered rail there, 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 and there. Normal rail, there, there, and there. We need this hook here, so place a block here, place a normal rail here, place it. If it goes like this, you're good. If it goes like that one, you need a redstone block here and place it. Now above this one, we've got this. So we are going to crouch place 1, 2, 3 more. In fact, we're just going to connect this line, and then we'll just replace this with a redstone block because I like the redstone blocks. And 1, 2, 3, and normal rail the rest of the way. Okay, so now we got that done. Now we're going to go into the hopper line. So we're going to go 1, we're going to just drag this line all the way to there. And we're going to put another one right there. Now, we need to create, we need a regular rail right there, and a powered rail right there. Let's power this with a torch. So that powers both of those. So, get your comparator. We're going to place one there. We're going to place a block up, a torch, a block on the torch, and a block on the side. And we're going to put a piece of dust there. That right there will, when the hopper minecart goes through here, it's going to lock the hopper. Now, we don't want those bottles to go in. So we'll have a line of 4, flip around, and right here. Now the reason why we don't want to, we want a 1 block gap at least, is so that we can have what's called a non-stackable item sorter. Where anything that is non-stackable will go. This is actually the closest you can get there. I have a 2 block gap. I could have probably pulled it over 1 more. But, yeah. So, what we're going to do is take a comparator, put it there, dust, dust, dust. Then I recommend a repeater right here with a torch right here. Now, anytime a non-stackable item goes through here, it's going to go and get put into the system. Now, what we need to do now is we need to let me double check everything, get this clock going. So we're going to place block, 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 and we're going to go repeat comparator, comparator, going into that block, turn around, comparator, comparator, dust at the end, and we need to get a hopper, because I always seem to forget about this. Create a hopper chain going all the way into here, from chest to dropper. So if you have an extra one, it's going to pull an item out and stick it back in there. That's fine, that's what we want. Now, this is where you absolutely have to have the slabs. We are going to go slab, slab, block, 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 block up, and another block up. We don't need that there. Block down, and actually we need the slab there. Forgot that one. And a block there. Dust, dust, dust there. And on these two, dust, dust. Flip around, repeater, repeater, repeater. Leave this one alone. 3 ticks, 4 ticks. Now when this clock goes, it's going to release it's going to fire this hopper minecart. Now I've got, this is the launch, and this is the loading and unloading system. Now we need to set up one other little thing, the delay system. So once I get the delay system put together, and all the items for the delay system, I'll be right back. Okay guys, I'm back, and this time I actually got everything we need in my hotbar for a 14 storage, 14, 14, 14, which is what I have over in that other area. I do recommend a 64 plus 16 set of items. You don't have to have these amount, but I do recommend it. You can adjust it according to your size just by removing items from the system. You also need 4 torches, a random block. I do recommend a stone button for reset purposes and testing purposes. 2 slabs, a repeater, an observer, a redstone block, a sticky piston, about 6 comparators, a bunch of blocks to build with, 2 hoppers, 2 droppers, and 2 pieces of dust. Okay, so what we're going to do is from the non-stacking sorter, we're going to take and place a comparator on that hopper. Then we are going to take a block and place it in front of it. We're going to take our slab, put one here and one here. Then we'll take our 2 dust, take 2 dust, put it there and there. You're going to need a little more, but yeah, I screwed that up, but just get a little more dust as you need it. And we'll block this one off. Dust on the slab, a block above the dust, and you're going to use a slab behind it or a regular one. But next to this one, we're going to place a block and a block. We're going to go comparator, comparator, observer, block, dropper going one way, dropper going the other way. We don't need that. 2 more blocks. Now what we're going to do is create a silent variable pulse extender. So I would use a smaller one, but I like this one because it's reliable and it will not shift. So the one with the observer we are going to place our random block. It's going to turn that torch off, which is good. Then we're going to get our 2 hoppers, and we're going to put them face to face, going into one another. Now what's going to happen is we're going to just fill this up. We're going to put the 116 in there, and you'll notice that nothing is happening. They're not transferring or anything. So what we're going to do is now 2 blocks, one next to the dropper, one in front of the hopper, and a block up. We're going to put a torch here, a comparator coming out of the hopper, a comparator coming out of the torch, and a block on that one. Now, here is the advantage to this system. I'm going to place a button here and here. I can activate it, and as you see, I've got items transferring. But also, I can cut it short, like I said, for testing purposes. And then you can remove these when you're done. Then we're going to take a block, put a comparator coming out of that hopper, a block up, we don't need that, and a sticky piston with a redstone block, a block up from there, a block here. We need an additional 2 dust for this, so we'll place dust, dust, and then we will get our repeater. Yep. Place it here. We can leave that on default. You can also, if you really want to, you can use a comparator. But after next step is actually getting everything set up properly, putting in your filters, and running the minecart, which is, well, the next step. So I'll be back, and once I get everything ready for the, well, starting of the filtration system. I'm back. Everything is actually built. All we have to do is just one minor little prep. So, I don't have one in my inventory, but get yourself a button. It doesn't matter. And we need to launch this minecart. So, launch it. It's going to take a while. It's going to go slow. It's going to cycle through. It's going to drop off those. Drop. Pick up exactly 4 water bottles in the system. Which this time it did it wrong because it was supposed to launch the watermelon. It took 1 block, put it there, and drop off those. Cycle through, drop, cycle it, and it should hold the item now because there is no items in there. And there we go. The water bottle is set. Yes! Just what we need. And our filler block is there. And I'm pretty sure it took an extra. Yep. So we'll just put that back in there. Because it just sets up for afterwards. Now, if you're going to do a minecart loader, a minecart chest loader like I did, what you need to do here is place a 4-tick repeater, here a activator rail, and there you go. How you load it up, it's up to you. This is your load chest. That's it. So you guys, this is the Redstone Wizard. Enjoy building.